What is happening, everyone? Cockney Red 99 here with the Crafty Couple, and we're joined by our regular guest, the Colombel Champagne connoisseur. I don't think he has a can of it with him tonight, Mr. Keane Frady. Keane, how are you getting on?
I'm very good now, and thanks for asking. No, I'm not on the Clonmel champagne tonight. I have to be good tonight, so I'm on the classic English Volvic water tonight. So, I said I'll do that since Adam's on the show tonight.
Yeah, being respectful for Adam, of course, the top man from Mad Red United. He's flat out today. He's on about 1 million shows tonight. Grateful for him coming on. How are you getting on, Ads?
Yeah, good mate. Finally got on, pal. Finally got on. But yeah, Keane, I'm disappointed, mate. It's Friday night, son. What's going on?
I was a bit under the weather this morning, so I'm not chancing it.
Right, hydration, yeah.
Hydration, yeah.
Getting ready for tomorrow, mate. You're getting ready for the stress of tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah. Do you know what? I'll probably be on the beer tomorrow night, to be fair, for the game, so.
Yeah, man. I've got about 4 shows tomorrow night as well. It's mental.
I mean, to be honest, if hopefully it's a good result. If we lose to West Brom, I think we'll all be on the beer quite drastically.
Other indifferent will be on the beer.
Yeah, I think it'll be Jameson, to be honest. I think that it's a step up if we lose to West Brom. But moving on to the fixtures this weekend, lads. A lot of good games. Finally, Sky Sports, BT, they've all listened to everyone. They've got rid of pay-per-view. I think we're all delighted about that, not having to pay 15 quid to watch us play West Brom. But they've got rid of it now completely. No more pay-per-view. There's going to be a few games on BBC as well, which is good. Free to air, good for the general public, good for the morale during this second lockdown. But we go to the first game of the weekend, which is on BT, which is Newcastle-Chelsea. It's the 12:30 kickoff. Newcastle doing all right this season under Bruce, haven't torn up any trees as such. How do you see this one going? Do you think Chelsea are going to walk all over them at St James's?
I think Chelsea will have way too much for Newcastle this weekend. I mean, I had True Joy lads on my show before we played them, and they are just down, finished with Steve Bruce. They don't like him at all. I think the table tells you one story with Newcastle, but behind the scenes and the style of football and the way they're going forward tells you another on how the fans feel. I think Chelsea ultimately will, like you said, have way too much for that Newcastle defence. They've just got players to come on off the bench if it's not working. They've got different shapes they can implement. And like you said, now they've got that bit of a solidarity at the back. The keeper coming in. You've got Thiago who's settled now. And then you add that midfield to that, which we already knew was strong. And then you've got the likes of Werner going forward. And I just don't see any other outcome but a Chelsea win. I think it'll be a comfortable win. I think we'll start seeing a bit of pressure applied to Bruce again soon. But like you said, he's done enough. He's got enough in the bank for him to be not concerned. But I think in this particular game, as it is for Chelsea players, the way they're playing, the players that are in form for them, I just feel like Chelsea are going to do them completely. I don't see Newcastle causing any threat. I've been surprised before, but as long as Jose Mourinho's not there at Chelsea and he isn't playing against Newcastle, where his record is shocking, Chelsea should be fine.
Continued with us and Spurs as well. He still hasn't won there, I don't think, is he? Or...
He's struggled. I don't think he has yet.
He might have won in that post-lockdown league, but if he has, it's only once.
I don't see it any other way, mate. I just feel like they've got way, way too much. If we can do them 4-1, God knows what Chelsea's forward line can do to him.
Yeah, I mean, Ziyech, since he's come back into that side, has looked at home in the Premiership.
Sick.
He's just a quality footballer, and he's just proven. I mean, I think he was only 35 mil from Ajax. It's an absolute bargain. I mean, Ajax are selling creative midfielders for nothing these days. We got Van der Beek for a similar price.
Chelsea play there as well.
Yeah, but Chelsea seem to play there one. Keane, what are your thoughts on the Chelsea game? Do you think the same as Ads? Do you think they're going to have a walkover there at St James's Park?
Yeah, I'll just echo everything Adam's saying. Chelsea are kind of flying in the last couple of games, and then you'd like Hakim Ziyech then to come back into that team. He's just been an absolute Rolls Royce since he's came into that team. He's just been, everything he does is so elegant, on the ball. And then you look at obviously other players then as well, Kai Havertz starting to hit a bit of form, Timo Werner starting to hit a bit of form. And then you obviously have the likes of Mason Mount in there as well, who has played well over the international break as well. So look, I'd say this will be plain sailing for Chelsea. I think Newcastle, they'd still have their little threats like with Alan St. Maximin and players like that, but even at that, one player can't provide a whole threat to a team like Chelsea. So yeah, I think Chelsea will win. I think they'll steamroll them, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it being a tighter affair, to be honest, because as much as Thiago Silva has shored up that back line, I still think there's a few frailties there. But Ziyech has just looked unbelievable in a couple of games that he's played for him. So I reckon it will look tight, but it will end. The scoreline won't look tight at the end, but it won't tell the full story. I reckon they'll win 4-1 though, to be honest.
No, different, and then
no. But do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? As in, like, but our game wasn't it was a 4-1 game, but do you know what I mean? It was all late on. I think they'll just sort of crumble later on in the game. I know I've sort of contradicted myself, and I look like a bit of a knob there, but we'll move on from that to Villa to the 3:00 game, which is Villa Brighton. Brighton have looked all right, but Villa are absolutely flying this season. Grealish, Barkley, Watkins, great business from them. Emilio Martinez in goal. He's phenomenal. They're signing him over Romero. Seems to work the treat for Villa now. Keane, what are you thinking of this game, Villa Brighton?
Yeah, look, for me, I think Aston Villa win that. They're on a good run of results at the moment, and the likes of Jack Grealish, Ollie Watkins, they're playing some stuff from him. I think Ollie Watkins has been a very shrewd signing for Villa in the Championship. Now, people raised a few eyebrows when they heard the transfer fee, but look, he's been a player who has played very well. Ross Barkley's been a shrewd little signing for Dean Smith as well. And then obviously, look, one of the best players in the league at the moment, Jack Grealish, who was absolutely flying it at the moment. So yeah, Brighton have their qualities, but I think Aston Villa win this game.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there, Keith, to be honest. As you in the same boat as the two of us?
Yeah, I think Barkley's, like Keane said, Barkley's just taken Grealish onto that next level that we all wanted to see him. He's had comparisons to Gazov this week for the way he plays the game. It's slightly different in terms in the way he plays, coming from the left mainly, but he is the form man in the league at the moment. Barkley's sort of taken the pressure off him a little bit. He's taken a little bit of that creativity burden off Grealish, and it seems to have just freed him up to play even more, because you try and take Grealish out of the game, it gives Barkley a bit of room, and then that's give him a new lease of life as well. It's a brilliant move. Villa have done some outstanding work in the transfer market in terms of creativity and how they've done their transfers. Watkins, Barkley, it's taken the pressure right off Grealish, who's just thrived off a bit more quality players around him. And it's hard to see Villa not getting a result in this one, but I'm not counting Brighton out, to be honest. They've played good football all season, but they think they've been very, very unlucky. There's a team that's going to come unstuck against Brighton soon. I think there is a team that is going to come unstuck against them. Will it be Villa? I don't know, because they've not looked too bad at the back, Villa, which is sort of been the building block.
And they have the likes of Douglas Luiz there as well, who's a very good holding midfielder. He's done a fantastic job. And then John McGinn in there as well. They've a solid foundation there.
They've got a good, and like I said, with them being a lot more solid at the back, it has helped the rest of that team perform, because they're not leaking goal after goal after goal. They have had the odd little meltdown, but let's be honest, which team in this league hasn't had that one game where it's gone, whoa, hang on a minute, have we forgotten how to play football? But when you've got the attacking qualities and they're all playing well, like you said, then I said Watkins, McGinn, Grealish, Barkley, all of a sudden Villa have got a few players you have to watch out for. So I fancy Villa taking it. Not going to be a landslide by any stretch of the imagination for me. I just think Villa will probably have that one bit more quality going forward, like we mentioned, and that's what will win that game.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. Lad, we haven't mentioned as well, Matty Cash has looked very good for them as well, coming in from Forest. They've just, in terms of their business, he's just been backed. Dean Smith has been backed completely by the owners of the club, and he's reaping the benefits of it. Moving on to probably the biggest game of the weekend, Spurs against City, absolutely huge game. Jose versus Guardiola. They build it as, when he first arrived at United, it was Pep versus Jose. It was, red half versus blue half, and there was only one clear winner out of that situation. I'm sad to say it wasn't us. Jose doesn't have a great record against Pep. Can he improve it at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this weekend, Ads? What do you reckon?
This is the toughest game to call this weekend. I mean, Liverpool-Leicester is a tough one to call when we come to that. But this one, you'd normally look at it and go, Spurs, the way they're playing, the way they're handling games, the way they're digging out results. You know what? Coming back on a Friday morning, playing West Brom on a Sunday afternoon and just getting the result, you know what I mean? A 1-0 win, coming away with that, having played so many games so close together. It's like they're good qualities to have going forward. Dare I say it, championship winning qualities just to get through a game and get a result. But then you get the news about Pep Guardiola signing a new deal. Everyone's uplifted. City's spirits are uplifted. The players now know who they're going to be playing for next season. Do they then reinvest their interest in what Pep is saying? Because let's be honest, you can sort of sway away as a player if you know the manager might not be there next season. Maybe you're not listening as much. Maybe that's affected some of the players. But now they know that this is the guy who's going to be here for another 3 years. Then, you know what, right, let's knuckle down here. Now I need to prove my point. Otherwise, I might not be in a place next season. So the uplift, I think, is what I'm going to say will sneak City to win this weekend. I can understand why people would say Spurs, because they do look like they have got the bit between the teeth and they are listening to Mourinho now. But I just feel like that news this week is just going to tip it for me, weirdly. But I just feel like City, I think, need to make a statement, and they'll see that chance of clawing the gap back on Liverpool with them playing Leicester, putting big pressure on them. I can't see City not winning this game, and I think they need to win this game.
Yeah, I think you're bang on there in terms of they need to win this game. I mean, they do actually sit 10th in the table at the moment.
Crazy,
they are like ourselves. They do have a game in hand. I'm not sure who theirs is against. I know ours is Burnley.
Villa.
Villa, yeah.
Villa.
That's a tough fixture as well. And I'm not sure when those games in hand actually are at the moment.
I know, I don't know.
Fixture list is mental. I looked through it the other day. There's literally not 4 or 5 days where we don't have a game. But it's all heating up, and it's going to be an exciting one this week tomorrow for Spurs City, to be honest. Keane, what are you thinking?
I actually think Spurs are going to win this game on this weekend. For me, I think in terms of stylistically, I think the way City are playing and the way they're playing such a high line and the threat Spurs have going forward in terms of Kane, Son, Gareth Bale, then you have to obviously have the likes of Lucas Moura and Son, and Stephen Bergwijn. Like, there's so many players there who I think who can hurt City, and City have been so vulnerable defensively this season that I can see them conceding goals. Also, Jose actually has Tottenham, as Adam said, on side now, and they seem to be playing the right way. Defensively, he's improved them as well. I think one player that no one has really talked about this season has kind of flew under the radar is Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg from Spurs. He's really kind of helped him in that defensive midfield role in terms of breaking up play. So I think he'll be a very important player to try to stop Kevin De Bruyne in there tomorrow. If he plays well and maybe does a number on De Bruyne, Tottenham have a chance. But for me, I think Tottenham will win the game. I think Jose, they did beat him last season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I think Pep, obviously, like the news did break out that he is after signing the new contract. But for me, I think City are just so inconsistent this season, and I think that's going to continue this weekend.
Do you know what? To be honest, I think you're bang on. To be honest, I think you're both bang on. I think as it depends. It depends on which City turn up. Really, I think that's what it is. If the City that play Leicester turn up, they're going to get turned over. Ferran Torres as well, their boy, getting a hat-trick against Germany in midweek. That can only be a boost for him. But I'm gonna say this will be a draw. To be honest, I think it's going to be a 1-1. I think it's just going to be that tight of a game. We move on to the game that we all care the most about. It's United versus West Brom. We still haven't won a game at home in the league this season, which is an absolute disgrace for United. It's an absolute joke. And we've got West Brom at home after the international break. A few players doing quite well. A few players have been rested. Like some Mata getting a full, week or so off. We need this win at home more than anything, and we have to do it. West Brom are a poor side, but they do have threats, obviously. But West Brom at home should be 3 points. Bread and butter. Keane, what do you think?
I talked to Adam about this last night, and I was saying that United this weekend now, we're coming on into after an international break, and we've a lot of fixtures to play. We've no international distractions. This is a perfect time for Ollie now, with all the football to be played there, to pick up a few results and garner some momentum this season. For us, this is crucial that we win this game, because Manchester United haven't won a home game in the league at Old Trafford since the 4th of July. Tomorrow will be the 21st of November. We need to win a game. We need to win this game, and we need to make a statement. Like the 4th of July, like that's a long, long time. So when you put that into perspective,
we drew against West Ham, didn't we? Like, so
yeah,
I was just thinking that. Like,
Southampton.
Drew against Southampton, drew against West Ham.
It was Bournemouth, mate.
Bournemouth, yeah, that was because it was the day of my 21st, actually.
How much of that do you remember?
I remember the game. I don't remember the rest of the night, but we'll move on.
But yeah, like as I was saying, like with this, we need to go out and we need to win, because West Brom are a team who are predominantly play with a low block, and Slaven Bilic, one thing he does is he has his teams well organised. So I think United need to score an early goal tomorrow just to let the floodgates open, let West Brom shit the bed. Do you know what I mean? Once that happens, once we score one and we get the first goal, we get a couple. If it stays 0-0, the longer it stays 0-0, you always worry about them, a team like West Brom scoring off a scruffy set piece or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's very important we go out and we take the initiative and get the first goal.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen that. I think you've seen that most eloquently when, after we came back from lockdown, when we were scoring the earlier goals, we were getting 4 and 5 in the games, and we were absolutely brushing teams aside. When we get the early goal and we get the confidence going throughout the side, we seem to be able to just do teams. Whereas if you don't have that early goal, I think there's something in the mentality, as Adam always says, that we just don't have. We can't seem to think that we're going to win the game. What are your thoughts on the game this weekend?
Like Keane said there, the first goal is massive for us. We need the first goal. Otherwise, we're struggling. We really are, because they're only going to come for one goal. Hopefully, it will be to snatch a win or snatch a draw and get out of there. Bilic is a manager under pressure. He could have easily gone this international break, but West Brom have stuck by him. He's still in a hot seat. He's a man who needs a result more than what Ollie does. So expect a low block. Expect a manager sitting his team out to spoil the party. What party that is, you might ask. I don't know, but he's out there to block United. He knows what quality United have, and the only way he can get any result out of this game is stopping United rather than looking at a game plan for themselves. It'll be one man up front, which is why United need to not play 2 holding midfielders. We spoke about this last night as well. It needs to be an adventurous attacking team. We need options up front who can high press and then deal with that long ball. We can't deal with a long ball from West Brom every now and then. Then we don't.
This game suits Maguire
anywhere. Belong anywhere. Exactly.
This should be Maguire.
Perfect for him. Perfect for him. But if he's fit, it'd be good. It'd be good if he was fit. We don't know yet. We'll wait for the news tomorrow. All these late fitness tests that we've got going on, but I expect United to win. I think United will win. I think Ollie will, as someone said on the radio before, presenter, another get out of jail for Ollie, another one to get away with. Points on the board, you can't argue with it. It's going to be nice to see a performance sooner or later. It really is, especially in the league at home. Is it the type of game you're going to get that against West Brom? Probably not. So when you do break it down, you have to sort of accept that the result is massive tomorrow. But it's not going to be easy. It really isn't. It could be a horrible watch. It really could be a horrible watch. But like he said, get that first goal. It's good night, Vienna. That's simple as. The longer it goes on, the more you'd fancy West Brom to take something. But if United score, I don't see West Brom causing any threat to us at all.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there, and I think that's just United through and through in any game. If we get the first goal, we just seem to get that confidence throughout the side, and we just tend to walk teams over. And it doesn't matter if you could be up 2-0 and then one goes in, but I think there's still that confidence throughout the team then that they are going to get another one, and that they won't concede another. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on Ollie at the moment. I just want to and. Look, rightly so, that we haven't been performing greatly and the results haven't been amazing. But if you look at the table, I know we are 14th, which is not good enough. But if we win our game in hand, which is against Burnley, who haven't won all season and is very likely, we do go within 5 points at the top of the table. And I'm not saying that's where we want to be, but I'm just saying things necessarily.
It's a lot better where we've been in recent times.
Things aren't as bad as they seem, I don't think. Look, I could be sitting there on Sunday on Adam's show going absolutely fucking mental because we've lost 1-0 at home to West Brom. Football is very fickle. It can all change within a minute. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's as bad as it's being painted out to be. There's questions about team selections and that, but I honestly don't think it's as bad as it's going to be. And I think we could do something all right this season.
Who scores for you tomorrow?
Well, yeah. Actually, let's do that. Score predictions. Ads. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go 2-1. No, I'm going to 2-0 United. I just don't. If we score, I don't see them scoring.
Yeah.
If they score, I think it will be a draw. I do think it'll be 1-1 or something like that. I'm going 2-0 United.
Just so he can get it in. Who have you got? Who have you got scoring?
So I have Edison Cavani and is going to stick in a header from Alex Telles tomorrow, and Bruno Fernandes gets on the score sheet again with a lovely penalty.
Fair enough.
A lovely penalty. Not just a penalty, a lovely penalty.
I mean, to be fair, he does only score lovely penalties. That beautiful little dummy. It's a work of art. It's a work of art.
Until he misses.
Look, do you know what I mean? Look, no one's perfect. You know, we've got everyone makes mistakes. We've got to accept that sometimes.
We need a win. The win takes us into the top half of the table finally if results go our way, but that's clutching at straws 8 games in, isn't it?
No, but honestly, I reckon by December it could be looking a lot rosier. I'm quite an optimistic person. I've had a bottle and a half of Heineken. It's making me a bit more optimistic. But
times have changed.
Times have changed. Yeah, the pubs are closed. Well, my liver is just getting stronger and stronger by the day. But yes, it's so that's the United game covered now. Moving on to Sunday, the 12 o'clock kickoff. Fulham versus Everton. Fulham are struggling this season. They did get their first win a couple of weeks ago, but that Adamola Lookman little whatever the little dummy he tried to do and absolutely made a hash of it. Fulham, they have made a good few signings in the window, but will it take them time to gel? Will Parker get enough time in the hot seat there at Fulham? Not too sure. Everton, after losing to us, they're going to need to bounce back. They've lost 3 on the bounce now. Massive game for them, and hopefully they can go to Craven Cottage and get 3 points. I think that's what they're praying for. Az, what are you thinking?
Yeah, you said it there, mate. Ancelotti isn't going to be liking 3 defeats in a row. They need to, after 4 wins in a row, and a draw against Liverpool, and it just spiraled out of control for them. They sort of lost the rhythm. Richarlison back, you'll have...
is Richarlison back?
Yeah, he's back from suspension.
Yeah,
I'm putting him straight in the fantasy team this weekend. Whoosh.
That's it. It takes a little bit of... Calvert-Lewin's doing it on his own anyway, but, with another striker there, it just adds that little bit. And it's no surprise since Richarlison went out suspended that they did sort of drop in form. I don't rate Richarlison as well as a lot of other people do, but clearly he did have a little bit of an impact because they struggled to score the goals like they did at the start. But I expect a bounce back this weekend. Fulham are due, I'm not going to lie, but Ancelotti in charge, I'm expecting a bounce back from Everton this weekend. I really do think that they need to, considering all the big up that everyone gave them at the start of the season. To win 4 games on the spin and we're only 3 points behind them says everything, really. I think we will get an Everton bounce back. I fancy them to bag a few goals as well. I don't know if James played for Colombia or if he flew out, if he's back, if he's still fit.
He did play. Colombia lost 6-0 to Ecuador. So, James and Yerry Mina must be devastated because they lost 6-0 to Ecuador.
Ecuador? Who do they even have?
Valencia.
Valencia.
The 2 Valencias, Enna and Antonio, were the only ones I'd ever heard of. My mate told me the other day, I thought he was taking the piss. Ecuador beat Colombia 6-0. So, if you lose 6-0 to Colombia, that'd be like losing 6. I don't even know who to compare it to. It's just an absolute, balls up for the Colombia team there. But
do you know what though? Ecuador they scored Ecuador scored 6 goals. Ireland can't even score 1.
Mate, let's not talk about Ireland. I'm done with international football till March. Don't want to speak about it anymore.
Do a quick one on the Everton game. Is that 7 games now without a goal? Yeah, Ireland.
That's not. That's just mean. That's just rudeness. What?
It's not mean. No, you need to do.
Rude.
You know what? Yeah.
Rude.
No,
it's rude.
You know what the people in charge of Ireland? You know what Niall Quinn needs to do? He needs to get on the phone, say, right, March, international break, lads. We've got 1 friendly probably, and then 2 other important games, or so-called important games. Right,
the World Cup qualifier is important. I'm sorry, we're not England. We don't get shit teams in our group. It's not for us. We're not in pot 1.
No, we don't get Gibraltar in our group.
I'm talking.
We do get Gibraltar. We can only beat them 1-0. Oh.
I'm talking. Let's get on the phone. Let's get Niall Quinn needs to get on his phone, do his job, and say, right, let's stop this rot. Let's organise a friendly with San Marino, and let's just bag a few goals and get it out of our system.
This is the problem. If we played San Marino, we'd probably only score 1. We went to Gibraltar. We played Gibraltar home and away under Mick McCarthy. We won 1-0 each time.
I think Keith Ayres getting shorter and shorter with every stream that Ireland play.
Why do you think I've got a fringe, Adam?
The lad just wants to celebrate a goal. He just wants to celebrate a goal, doesn't he? That's all he wants. Look at him, he's dying inside. But yeah, get on the blower, get San Marino friendly.
Get Robbie Keane out of retirement. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Mate, Keano's coming out of retirement.
You're going to be getting closer to that San Marino record of 17 without a goal.
No. That's 17 without. It was about a goal or without a win?
Yeah.
It was without a goal, yeah.
Without a goal.
Right, can we talk about the Premier League now? Because international depressed me enough for the last week. Smug England fan down there. Right, Fulham Everton, what are we all saying then? Are we all saying an Everton win to bounce back from their 3 defeats?
Yeah, 4-0 Everton.
Definitely. I fancy Everton. 3-1 Everton.
3-1 Everton. I'm gonna say 3-1 as well, Everton. Next game is the 2:00 kickoff. It's Sheffield United versus West Ham. Now, West Ham have been doing quite well this season. However, Sheffield United, on the other hand, it seems like a massive bout of second season syndrome. They've just, I think they've only picked up 1 point this season, is it? And they're just in terrible form. I mean, they made some good signings. Ryan Brewster. I haven't watched a lot of them, to be honest. I don't know how he's doing there. To be honest, Ethan Ampadu, I've only heard good things about him there at Sheffield United, but it seems to be like a case of second season syndrome for them, and it seems like they're on their way down. Keane, what are you thinking, man? You thinking West Ham will rub salt into the wounds this weekend?
Yeah, I think West Ham will win. I think they'll have a bit too much for Sheffield United. I think they seem to be on a bit of a form, and they're after picking up a couple of wins. And they're playing kind of decent football lately. Even when David Moyes was in isolation, they seem to be become a new team altogether. But I think it's a shame with Sheffield United because before the lockdown happened, they were playing fantastic football, and then that prolonged break kind of like destroyed any momentum they had, and then they came back and they got trashed 5-2 by United, and then it was kind of that was a 5-0 actually or 5-2. Am I thinking about the Bournemouth game?
No, it was it? I can't remember. Mate, that lockdown. The Sheffield game, that was
at Old Trafford.
We beat them 4-0, didn't we?
4-0. I knew we scored a good few, but since that game, like their form has just gone south. Like it really has. And for a manager like Chris Wilder, who is usually defensively very astute, they seem to be leaking goals. And I think, as you said, like it is a case of second season syndrome, and I think that they are going to go straight down. And for me, I hate to see it because obviously there's a few Irish lads playing from like John Egan and Enda Stevens and David McGoldrick.
What a man! That's what
like do you know, like because there's a few Irish heads playing for him.
Sorry, no. We're not fucking escaping that little sly comment that was dropped in there. No, that's just height of rudeness, Adam. Height of rudeness.
Do you know what though? Do you know what's going to happen, right? And I'm just going to say this now. When we get to the Euros, right? Football is going to be coming home, right? And the English media is going to build this up. Then they're going to get knocked out by someone like Iceland or someone like that in the Euros. And everyone will be saying Southgate out, like. So I'm just waiting for that party.
Southgate out is already trending, and he's got them to a tournament. It just honestly amazes me how like spoiled England fans are.
Just watch Southgate start Mason Mount in every game instead of Jack Grealish, and you see the uproar.
I mean, look, enough about international. We've got through 3 international breaks already. We don't need to talk about it anymore. But West Ham,
no, right.
Yeah, look,
I think Keane's right there. The second season syndrome has kicked in big time. I think they got found out. That's the problem. They have been found out. Teams have learned how to play against them, how to set up against them. I mean, you always say the football gods. There's one game, they have to stop the rot at some point. They have got a good setup there. Wilder seems to be a good coach. You're thinking he is going to be able to get them out of this, but it's like talking about Rooster signing good players. Yeah, apparently. I mean, the kid's not played any games in the Premier League at all, and he was 26 million. So you just don't know. With risks like that, and you see what Villa have done with their money, and you can understand, the prospects don't always work. It can go the opposite way. And start of the season, it has. I'm not saying the lad won't hit his straps and find form soon, but hopefully it will be against David Moyes and West Ham. I do think it isn't going to be the walkover that people think because of Sheffield's form compared to West Ham. West Ham have had a good season so far, but there's a game that Sheffield United are going to find their usual rhythm in. Is it going to be this one? It could well be, but it's got to draw it all over this one for me. I think Sheffield will get something from the game, so I'm going to go 1-1 in this one.
Yeah. 1-0. Do you know what? I think I'm inclined to agree with yourself, as I think it's going to be a 1-0. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I mean, West Ham do a lot going forwards. They have looked better, and they have looked like they have a better identity of playing. But I don't know. I just see this as a bit of a banana skin for them. I mean, I think last season they scored. I think they scored a last-minute winner there, and it was disallowed. Snodgrass in like the 93rd minute, and then it went to VAR, and it was cancelled out. I mean, I can't imagine how depressing that was. But that finished 1-1 there last season. So I think I'm going to go for the same result this year. Moving on to the 4:30 Sunday, massive game. Leeds-Arsenal. Leeds, mate, we're talking about Sheffield United being found out. Have Leeds already been found out in terms of their style of playing and playing against them? Arsenal have looked up and down throughout the season as expected, losing 3-0 to Villa, massive blow after their win against United. Keane, how are you seeing this one, mate? Are you seeing Leeds, Bielsa, pulling off some magic, or are you seeing Mikel Arteta putting 11 men behind the ball and getting a penalty to win the game?
Oh, Bielsa ball's winning all day. Banter FC is going to live on. I think Arteta is a more groomed version of Tony Pulis, to be quite honest. Do you know what I mean? I think he's like his football. Like people are saying,
Lego man, Tony Pulis. That's what
that's what he is. Yeah. He's a Tony Pulis with hair. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he plays 5 at the back, even against teams that play with a low block. Like, do you know what I mean? Like you thought, like he's he's under Pep Guardiola as a coach. You think he play expansive football with some of the players he has. Like they've a number 10 at the club, who is probably their most creative player, who isn't even their 25-man squad, and he's on 350 grand a week. That tells you everything you need to know about that club. For me, I think Leeds go out and win this game. They'll go out and win this game 2-1. They're a very good team. They play good football. As much as I don't like the club, they're actually playing decent football in the league this year. And I think people are blowing up Arteta a bit too much, in my opinion. Like, why, if Ollie's under pressure with the results he's getting, why in God's name isn't Arteta?
Well, apparently it's because Arteta has given a clear identity to the club. Is every argument I hear against it is
what's the identity? Like becoming a posh version of Stoke City? Like
I'm not saying I agree with them. That's what seems to be the pundits' argument, and it was when they beat us. It was that Arteta had made an identity in a quarter of the amount of games that Ollie had. I don't agree with it at all. Ads, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think Arteta's an overrated Lego man, or is he the man to take Arsenal forward?
I think Arteta's got Arsenal where I expected them to be. One of them teams that can look like they've got a plan in one game and then all of a sudden explode. The problem with this one in terms of Leeds is I think Bielsa's only got one way of playing. He needs to sort of adapt to the Premier League. Every time he's got to the top level, it just doesn't seem to have worked for him. He needs, there's Bielsa ball, and it looks great, and they have played some all right football, but Leeds ship goals for fun. They really do. If someone does a low block against them, then I think they struggle big time because they're just suspect to the counter-attack every single time, and that's how I think Arteta's going to play it. He's just going to hold it out, and then he's going to have the likes of Pepe, he's going to have the likes of Aubameyang, Lacazette, just to hopefully do a job for him. And like you said, maybe scrape one goal. He's going to play defensively. He's going to try and nullify what Bielsa does, which is the attack, the high press. And Arsenal have been all right in terms of dealing with the high press. They have got some all right passes of the ball. Partey has been key to that. But I think Bielsa's got to start. I mean, for all the fine football that apparently Leeds have played, for them to have played a game more than us and be below us in the league, kind of says everything, doesn't it? So 3 wins, 4 defeats, hit and miss. Like Keane said, then brilliant one week, but then the next week they just get absolutely smashed off the park. It's the way the season's. If anything epitomised the way the Premier League was this season, it's Leeds United. How you smash Villa, who are doing really well, and then just get battered by other teams. I mean, Palace game could have gone one way or the other. It really could. It wasn't a 4-1 game. We all see the VAR offside for Bamford. The Bamford offside wasn't offside. It could have been a whole different game. But Leeds will go down fighting no matter what. That's the thing you've got with Leeds. And if you let your foot off the pedal for any space of time in the game, Leeds will take advantage of it. So I think it's probably one of the standout games of the weekends, if you ask me. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one pans out. I think it's got draw it all over it for me. Again, a high-scoring draw. I think a 2-2.
Yeah.
Desmond. A bit of a Desmond.
You would side with that Desmond.
A bit of a Desmond at Ellen Road. I mean, it's a bit of a weird one, to be honest. I think you're talking about defensive frailties there. Like, they conceded 3 to Fulham.
Exactly.
Fulham can't get a goal for love of the money. Fulham are struggling for goals like Ireland are at the moment.
But I think Fulham are looking at that Ireland blueprint, aren't they? And they're like, oh yeah.
Stephen Kenny may as well replace Scott Parker. That's just the way I see it right now. But is
he still going to have a job by the end of this week?
I fucking hope not. But yeah, I'm actually going to go for a Leeds win here. I think Leeds are just up for those sort of big games. I think Leeds are going to do Arsenal, and I kind of hope that they do, because I just like seeing Twitter and meltdown. It's an entertaining evening, isn't it?
On a Saturday, there's nothing better on a Saturday or Sunday or Monday evening. Do AFTV and chill.
Sunday night, watching DT have a bit of a row with a camera. It's what you want. It just is. Moving on to another massive game this weekend. Lots of big games going on. Liverpool-Leicester, 7:15. Not on the pay-per-view, thankfully. Massive game at the top of the table. Yep. Leicester sitting top. They look like they've gelled properly, and hopefully they don't fall off like they did last season. That's why we finished 4th in the end, because they essentially just stopped playing football. They look amazing. Vardy's been on fire again this season. Yuri Tielemans looked amazing. He looks absolutely class, and they look like a brilliant side. And Brendan Rodgers isn't playing a brilliant tune at the moment. And they go to Anfield this weekend, and I think a lot of people are tipping them to do Liverpool, especially with the amount of players that Liverpool are missing.
Nice.
I think Robertson is back. And that's I've seen
it. 9 first-team players out. Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean,
Liverpool are going to be going to the Premier League. They're going to be going to UEFA. Please, lads, please let us sign some players in November, please. Do you know what I mean? That's how shameless that club are. They probably will do that with the injuries they have.
I think Vardy's having a party this weekend.
Oh, he is. I think Vardy is going having a field day against them.
I think that defence is looking weaker. The forward line without Salah, now he's contracted COVID again, I think is a lot weaker. I mean, Jota's had a very good start. Firmino's off it for me. And if Mane doesn't show up, then I'm looking at their midfield, which we've always said all along is a lot weaker than other teams around them, I think. City's midfield leaves Liverpool's for dead. And if that forward line isn't firing, then we see the results like we got against Aston Villa. And that's with all their defenders in. Let's not forget, Liverpool shipped 10 goals in 2 games against Leeds and Villa. You know what I mean? One was a relegation for the last season, and one was promoted. And that's with their best defence in. So let's not kid ourselves about how shaky Liverpool's defence is when they've got everyone fit. That front line isn't firing. Liverpool's plan is out of the window. It's as simple as that. I don't care what anyone says. Without that front line, it's dead, because when they can't bail out the defence when it is poor, they're an average team. They're an average team. And I'm not saying that lightly. I do know that they're the best team in the league, and I think still are. But with that many players out and the expectance level, again, resting on the forward line, I think Leicester have got them on the break. I really do. I think that's where Leicester will win this game. I think Harvey Barnes, Maddison, like you said, Tielemans, and then Vardy, and my man, they've got plenty of firepower there to hurt Liverpool. I think it will come down to counter-attacks on Leicester if they're going to win this game, because Liverpool will have the ball. They will hold a high line, which is suicidal against the Leicester, in my opinion. But it's Klopp. Can Klopp take a step back and play a different style of football? Or is he just
Jurgen Klopp parks the bus, imagine.
That's it. I don't think he will. I think he'll go and play the Klopp way. I would not be surprised if Liverpool win, but I fancy Leicester. I fancy Leicester to get something from the game. I'm going to go... What am I going for? I'm going 3-3.
3-3.
3-3.
What a way to finish your Sunday after the roast, watching a 3-3 game.
3-3. I fancy it. None of the defences fill me with confidence. I think Leicester have got frailties at the back, but I do feel like Liverpool will still come and play their game. I really do. I think Liverpool will come at them still, try and control the game, but I think Leicester have got that bit more quality than your average team now. League leaders, like you said, mate. I fancy this being goals galore. I really do. It's got one of them games with all over it for me.
Yeah, I mean, they're top of the league for a reason. And you mentioned Harvey Barnes there. I think he's criminally underrated, man. He is a brilliant footballer. And
Mustard,
I think,
mate.
Honestly, he's criminally underrated. I mean, we talked about Barkley earlier. He was unlucky to miss out on an England squad. I mean, Harvey Barnes, really, how he's not pushing for it, I don't understand. But, we move on anyway. King, what are you thinking about this game?
I think Leicester beat Liverpool 3-0. I think Liverpool... you can clip this up now.
My last bit of Heineken out, mate. Fucking hell, that was that big.
I think bit came out back on camera.
Do you know? So for me, with the 9 first-team players being out, Van Dijk being out, this Liverpool defence is there to be got. And with this front three, do you know what I mean? The Vardy, the Harvey Barnes, the world. Do you know what I mean? And you have Yuri Tielemans' creativity in there, James Maddison. I think they're going to tear them to shreds. I think they're going to take them to school. And I think Leicester will beat them 3-0. And I'm going to check the Paddy Power odds for it right now. And I'm going to see 3-0 Leicester for me.
3-0 Leicester. I reckon, you do make the points about both sides having defensive frailty. So I think it will be a high scoring game, but I think I'm gonna go 3-2 Leicester myself. I think Leicester are gonna do it. I think Jamie Vardy's gonna have a party. I think
the blue wicket will be out.
I think we get
banged.
I think he scored 4 penalties this season already, or something like that. I've seen a stat about that. We get taken the piss out of for penalties, but I think Vardy does chip a lot of penalties. But look, it doesn't matter.
Everyone's had the fair share of penalties.
Do you know what though? One thing I point out about penalties, lads. Liverpool have got some load of penalties this season. Salah scored penalties this season. Who's calling out Salah about these penalties? They're well able to call out Bruno, but what's going on with Salah? Like, do you know what I mean?
They probably call out Bruno because there's call out Bruno because there's plenty of wind-up merchants like you saying he's going to score one every week. So I'd say you're probably pissing them off a little bit.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to continue doing that. Absolutely.
Look, wind them up to fuck, mate. It's a free world. Look. Yeah, so Ads is going for a draw. Myself and Keane are thinking that Leicester are going to do the Scousers at Anfield. Have they lost at Anfield, actually? I don't think they have for well over 2 years now, probably, have they?
I'm trying to remember the record.
Atletico Madrid beat them away like in the Champions League.
Yeah, in the league, I don't think they've lost definitely 2 years. No, so this could be a massive game. Yeah. Look, we move on from the extremely exciting to the very dull. 5:30 on Monday. Don't think anyone's going to be rushing home to watch it. Burnley versus Palace. Palace.
If you could pick a game that you would just not ever want to advertise, and it's no wonder it's on at 5:30 on a Monday afternoon. That's graveyard shift right there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Palace have played quite well. Obviously, we mentioned a 4-1 win against Leeds. Doing quite well under Hodgson. He seems to be quite disrespected for what he's achieving with that side. Eze, Zaha, Bashbai.
It's all right, mate. It's all right, but
it's a good team. But it's Burnley, it's Turf Moor. The geezer on I'm a Celeb calling it happy place. I mean, have you been to Turf Moor, mate? Yeah, have you been there? The only good thing was the Hollands pie and the £2 pint of Foster's. That was all that was good about that place. But Burnley Palace, I mean, I might flick it on if I'm in from work. Ads, what are you thinking about this game? Do you think Burnley might get their first win of the season?
Mate, there's every chance, isn't there? The only thing Palace have got is, like you said, they got a couple of live wires up front in Eze and Zaha. The only reason they beat Leeds 4-1 is because, like I said before, the way Bielsa plays. You know what? They leave space. They let anyone can have a game against Leeds. You just got to score more than them. And I think Leeds were hard done to against Palace, especially with the goal for Bamford. So Palace, yeah, as well as it may look on paper, I still don't think they're great. I really don't. This has got horrible 0-0, 1-1 all over it. I think Burnley have got every chance of getting their first win in this game. First goal is key, I think. I think first goal gets you some points at least in this. If Palace get this first goal, I think Burnley are done. I really do. Because I think that Palace will pick them off on the break then. So, you know what? I'm going to stick my neck out and say 1-1.
I mean, that's a big fucking risk. You've risked your reputation there. Keane, what are you thinking about probably the least exciting fixture of the weekend?
I think this is going to be the most pointless game in the history of the Premier League.
Someone's got to get a point though, mate.
0-0.
0-0. I mean, it's not pointless. They're both getting a point apiece. I'm actually going to say that Burnley are going to win 1-0. I like the variety. Just for the I like Sean Dyche. I mean, he's just I'd like to see him take charge of England because I think it would just be a laugh. I'm not an England fan, so I'd quite like to see your demise. So I mean, I think it would be a bit of a laugh. Not necessarily your demise, but just return to sort of Sam Allardyce style of football. Moving on to the final game of the weekend, Monday night, 8:00. It's actually quite an exciting game. Both teams played quite an exciting brand of football. Wolves against Southampton, Nuno versus Ralph Hasenhüttl. Keane, who's coming out on top for you in this one?
It's a good game. It's a really good game of football. Yeah, it's tough to call. Like you have Hasenhüttl, and in terms of Hasenhüttl, big shout out to Saeed.
Germany, is it or something? What?
No, that's Saeed. That's Saeed's shout. That's how he calls. So how he calls Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, like he's playing. Like has Southampton playing good football, and then look, there's contrast. Nuno is very defensively astute. Like his teams are very well set up, and they are a team in terms of the counter attack. They are a good team on the counter attack as well, and like they do have the likes of Ruben Neves, Joao Moutinho, who can give you that something bit different in midfield as well. But for me, I'm going to go a 2-2 draw on this one. I think there's going to be goals in the game. But I think I don't think anyone's winning, but it's going to be a good game, and like as we said a couple of weeks ago at the Wolves Leicester one, it's going to be good advertising for the Premier League. Yeah,
and it was, to be honest, great game. Wolves and Southampton both flying this season, both great sides, both play great football. Ads, what are you thinking? You thinking on the same lines, a high scoring game?
Yeah, you've got to look at it that way. I mean, Southampton look dangerous, a little bit toothless without Danny Ings. I mean, they did do all right without him last time. as the headlines in the papers said, flying without ings. Best headline all season.
Best headline since the name is Bond, James Rodriguez.
So I'm gonna go Wolves win on this one. Actually, I fancy Wolves to take Southampton. I think we're looking around about a 2-1 win. I just feel like Wolves are just on. They just seem to be bubbling, don't they? They've just. And all of a sudden you expect that little bit of a run from them, but I'm fancying them over Southampton just simply because I think they can only have so many games without that deadly striker in Danny Ings. I think it will run out in time for them. The rest can't do it. You do need that player who's going to bail you out when you're a little bit off. First game back from international duty, I just fancy Wolves to take this one. I've just got a feeling that Hassan Hutor is going to be sulking into his stein or whatever it is that he's drinking over the weekend. But I think, yeah, definitely, I'm confident Wolves are going to win this one. I'm going to go 2-1 Wolves.
I mean, Hassan Hutor strikes me as the sort of man who is who's not a beer man. I'd say he's quite a strict health man. But we'll. I'm actually going to.
He drinks red wine or something. Definitely.
Yeah, he's a bit of. I'd say he's a bit of a wine man. I don't think.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is, isn't he? Like red wine, or maybe a bit of champagne, but not the Clonmel champagne now. But
no, he's not on the Clonmel champagne. He's on maybe a Lauenbrau occasionally. But we're. I'm actually going to. I think Southampton are actually going to do him. I think Southampton are going to win 2-1 here at Molineux. I think they're just flowing in the right direction at the moment, and Hassan Hutor's just got them playing brilliantly. And I think that's Southampton are going to win 2-1. That's the fixtures done for the weekend. Normally I ask a football related question, but fuck it, we'll spice it up.
What is coming here now?
No, nothing. Jesus Christ, Keane, would you relax, man? No, I simple as it is the Crafty Couple. You have a couple of beers, chat about the football. What would be your 3 go-to drinks in the pub?
Right. Do you want to go first, Adam?
It's a nice question to ask.
Go for it, mate.
Green Diesel, Jaeger bombs.
For anyone who doesn't know what a Green Diesel is, it's a shot of blue aftershock with Red Bull or whatever cheap shit energy drink that bar stocks.
Is that what it is in the UK? Over here, it's double Southern Comfort and Blue Wicket.
Oh, well, that's what it is in the UK, and it's horrendous. It's crazy juice. But all right, there's 2 different versions of it. What was the next one, sorry?
So Jaeger bombs. That's just to get me parked up before the end of the night. And I'm thinking now. Yeah, vodka and Red Bull. Vodka and Red Bull.
I mean, I'm just astounded that Clonmel champagne is nowhere in that 3. It makes me sad.
The reason why Clonmel champagne is not in there.
Magnus is tearing right now, King.
The reason why, right, and I'll say this.
The deal was there. It was ready to be signed. It's gone. It's gone forever.
No, the reason why it's not there is it's kind of a pre-drinks type of thing. Like, you have that at pre-drinks before you go out. But if you're out in the pub, for me, I go all out. Like, do you know what I mean? I go for the things to kind of get me absolutely pissed so I don't remember anything.
I mean, we do encourage responsible drinking on the Crafty Couple, just to let you know. Adam, a man of more distinguished taste, I assume. What is your
experience, mate?
What is your tipple? What's your poison?
Right, it'd be something very similar to Keane if I was his age, but I'm not. So here it goes. This is how the night would go in order. So, seeing as though we're more of a barbecue, everyone round to our house just drinking lager all day sort of setup. When you do go out and hit the town, it's sort of set off on a, believe it or not, Stella. Stella comes first.
Hang on, let me just text Alfie see if his mum's all right.
Stella comes first, and then I think then you get a little bit giddy, so you follow up with the Jaeger bombs, start partying, you hit the sort of bars then after the pubs. And then you're into the clubs when I'm starting to wane, and then it just goes on to captains. That's where I finish, and I'll just suck that until I get to bed all night. That's what my
would you touch the
love the rum.
Would you touch the Jack Daniels, Adam? Would you go near that?
Oh now? Yeah, no. I love Jack Daniels, but when I'm weaning and I know I'm struggling, which is usually every time I start a night, I always hit my comfort, which is Captain's Morgan Spice Rum, all the way for me. It just goes down. It doesn't seem to. I mean, it does affect me, but in your head, you kind of think in a pissed up, stupid way that this isn't affecting me. It is. But
yeah, because you're like, this tastes like vanilla ice cream, and then you're
convinces me going down smoothly. But yeah, I do. Jack Daniels and Captain Morgan's is my
double Jack and red now.
Red lemonade. That's the way. I mean, to be honest, as a lot of you know, I am an avid Guinness drinker. To be honest, I drink Guinness till the cows come home. That is my sort of major tipple. But it depends on what sort of night I'm going on. And go-to lager, if it's available, would it sounds bad, but Kronenberg, because it does absolutely knock your head off. But I'm a big fan of it.
It's nice, mate.
It's lovely, but if you drink 5 or 6 of them, it blows your head off. And
like a bit of Corona as well. Like a bit of Corona.
Like a Corona, but it will. As a bottle.
See what I mean? Is that not a barbecue drink right there? Corona is a barbecue drink, isn't it?
Just for anyone that isn't familiar with the Joke on Adam's podcast, Tim just would like to let everyone be informed about my illegitimate children that may or may not be running around the United Kingdom. Let's move on from that. Let's see Tim's favourite drinks as well, because he was meant to be on, but he's working. Moosehead Lager, never heard of that one.
Caskmates edition.
I've heard of Moosehead. Moosehead, I've heard of that.
Have you? Do you know what I do like is a Hop House from Guinness, the Hop House 13. Big fan of that. Lovely one.
The baby Guinness shots are nice as well. Baby
Guinness as a shot is lovely.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that. That's a lovely one. I mean,
you're making me mad. This show now, talking about this, has made me mad to go on the drink tonight. Now you're some bad influences, the two of you.
I mean, look.
No, mate. Cool. I'm like 1 minute away from the next show, mate. I've got to be teetotal tonight.
So he's not with the friendly drink people tonight. He's with the people that don't drink. So he's got to be.
I'm on the working night tonight.
He's got to be.
Wits about me. Wits about me. In case I say the same thing on every single video.
Fair enough. That's enough about us getting pissed up. Anyway, we'll wrap it up there. Lads, do you want to give a quick shout out to yourselves? Keen?
So yeah, look, you can follow me at the Weekly Armchair Kickoff on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We do have good guests over there like Adam and Owen. They're off and on. And you can find me on Twitter at Keen_Franey for all your Bruno Fernandes propaganda.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah, usual Mad Red United on YouTube. You know where I'm at there, people. All my socials are on there. But yeah, you'll get me at Adams.Frio on Twitter. For everyone there who likes a bit of a wind-up and likes to let off steam, you can do it on me.
Did you leave the United stand, Adam?
I think I left the United stand, by the way.
Did you?
People. Yes, you won't see me on there. No, you're not going to see me.
That's all right. Me and you will do a fan cam when we're back. But
yeah, that's it. We'll do our own. But yeah, that's it. Mad Red United. See you on there, people.
I'll be the ginger flex at the new start of the season. But we move on. Please like, please share, please subscribe. It does really help me. I'm at 64. I'd like to get to 100 before Christmas. That'd be nice. Yeah, please keep liking, keep watching. Cheers, lads. Bye.